DCI Barnaby, I'm afraid you have some explaining to do. Your beat's a postage stamp-sized piece of Gloucestershire, and yet last year you had 3,612 murders. Crime rates this high usually have complex socio-economic causes. What kind of preventative strategies do you have in place? Outreach programs, community watch, regular police patrol? I'm assuming you're not just sitting around waiting for a body to show up.
Oh, God no. We usually wait for 8 or 9 bodies to pile up before we really have a crack at finding the killer. It's much easier that way.
I'm giving you one more chance. I'm transferring Jason, and I'm bringing in a new sergeant. It's time to bring you into the 21st century. Some modern policing.
You don't mean...
That's right, Barnaby. He'll be Asian. All right. You best be going, Barnaby. Seems the whipped cream scone killers claimed another victim.
First Midsomer crime scene, Sergeant Patel.
We should dust the area for fingerprints and call in Scotland Yard's top forensic unit.
I think not, Patel. We'll use the man that I always rely on. What can you tell us?
I can tell with some certainty that he's dead.
Do you have any idea when it might have happened?
No, I can't give you an exact time, but it was definitely at some point in the past.
Incredible, these boffins, aren't they?
Another thing, DCI Barnaby. The scones. They're still bought.
Ugh. Does the victim have any family?
Yes, an older brother with a violent criminal history and a notorious dispute with the deceased about his disinheritance. And 2 younger sisters, one of whom is artistic, eccentric, and a millionaires.
Well, I know who we'll be speaking to first.
You'll never find who killed my brother, DCI Barnaby. He had many enemies.
Really, Miss Millington?
And who were these?
Quiet, Patel.
That's right. Many, many enemies. Well, actually, no, just one. The one.
Then who was?
That's enough, Patel.
He had a tumour, you know.
A tumour?
A tumour.
Really? A tumour?
That's right. A tumour.
Do you need to keep repeating it?
Patel, half the audience has dementia. It helps to repeat things 11 or 12 times.
We could solve this case a lot quicker if we just...
Patel, we've got an hour and a half left to fill. We're not going to solve this case any faster than we need to. Thank you, Miss Millington. We may be back to ask more questions.
Of course, Mr. Barnaby. Though I must warn you, if you do return, I'm fresh out of acting school and have a very limited emotional range.
I wouldn't worry, Miss Millington. I too have only one facial expression.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to leave, Mr. Barnaby. I can see my sister coming.
Hello, Kay. Have you been out long this morning?
Have I ever?
What brings you to my garden?
The director's making me walk up and down this here path for hours. He says it makes the place look quaint and evokes a lost sense of community.
How awful. Mr. Barnaby, hello!
Hello, Mr. Barnaby. Anyway, what about you?
Oh, I just came back from a funeral at St. Crispin's. The whole village was there.
I missed it.
Oh, don't worry. You know what this town is like. There's another one at 2 and a double billing at 4. I just wanted to go to the morning funeral because I knew the deceased.
Oh, do you know him well?
Not really. He was my husband.
Oh, I buried 4 sons last series.
I only lost one husband. Did I tell you? The producers tried to kill me off last episode.
Oh, they never.
They did. It was dreadful. Honestly, I don't really mind. The children are old enough to look after themselves. They're over 3 now. But I couldn't leave the Labradors. They needed money.
Sir, it seems that we have an incredibly straightforward case. We have a brother who's been convicted of a number of violent crimes. A psychiatrist assessed him as psychotically violent. Neighbors saw him fleeing the scene. He is the murderer.
No, far more likely to be a 4-century-old curse of an aristocratic pagan death cultist.
Sir, we need to arrest this man. Lives are at risk.
Let's say you're right, Patel, and by some slim chance Mr. Millington is guilty. He can't possibly go to jail. He's judging the ladies' weasel whomping champs in the village green and the feast of St. Wimpleford. Now come, Patel. Let's go drive up and down some scenic roads until someone basically confesses.